Good morning, crypto fam, and welcome back to another episode on the Coin Kings channel. I am the host of the Coin Kings channel. I am down to Crypto TA. Or at least I'm your morning host, your live streaming host. All right, so we're still just kind of hanging on in here. Today is Tuesday, so we should see a little bit more activity from the market today. Mondays, they call it boss move Mondays. Um, so I expect to see a little bit more of an upward move today. That isn't to say that we can't see a drop back down first and then see that move up, but I do expect to see a little bit more of a move to the upside. You can see we're hanging on right here. We've already had a swing failure here on momentum already with the weekly close. Something I talked about early last week, that potentially we could see something like that, and especially going into next month. I think next month, the month of June, we'll see a lot more downside in the month of June. But right now, my eyes are up. My eyes are up for a lower high, of course, for a lower high and then continuation to the downside. So that's what I'm watching for. We did get our drop yesterday into our 382 and our VWAP. Okay, we did get that drop into that. It was actually the very perfect tap, like perfect, like you had zero risk if you took that setup that we talked about that could potentially happen. Okay. But right now we're still holding on. We're still holding on in here. I wanted to just do an update here on the daily time frame. On the monthly time frame here, because as the month was moving forward here for the month of May, we did see the RSI push above the 50. Remember, I covered with you that whenever the RSI closes above 50, then it doesn't come back. Price continues higher. We at least do not see a lower low from that point. Once that happens, price just continues higher. Well, that isn't sustained here because actually on the month of May, we have to close above 50. I wasn't really sure at the time when I looked at it whether or not that close took place in April or if it was something that was going to take place here. But you can see that we did lose that. We're not above the mean here. And it's when we get above the mean that we don't put in a new low. Once we get above the mean, this low would be the low, but we haven't closed above that mean. So it's very important for us to see a closure before for that mean for the month of May. Otherwise, like I said, lower high continuation to the downside. Okay. All right. Got that taken care of. All right. This was the setup right here that we talked about, potentially price coming into the VWAP and the 382. And like I said, you had zero risk if you took that setup. Zero risk whatsoever. It didn't break through. It didn't do any of that. We've been rejecting here around this golden pocket. You can see that little quick wick that pushed up here into the 786, but we have seen repeated rejections here. 1, 2, 3, break. 4. And we've seen repeated rejections here around this golden pocket 786, which is drawn from this top to this low right here where we got the bounce from. I do still have the second VWAP on in here. I am long. I did get stopped out of my trade yesterday. I mentioned to you that I was risking some capital on that one. I did take my loss on that. And I re-enter, as I said, I would re-enter if we, drop down into here, something like that. If I got stopped out, I had no choice but to look for the next setup. Well, I had a choice. It's called not trading, right? It's called not trading. But I did take the opportunity there to get into the setup. The second VWAP is on in here. And this is the one from the low of the actual move to the upside, like the progressive move to the upside and versus the chop. So that's this one right here. We have an ascending trend line through here as well. We do have some liquidity down below, but like I said, right now I am looking for us to at least. I'm thinking that we could at least get into the golden pocket, which is going to be higher up around 79,000, 750-ish, something like that. I'm thinking that we could at least do that to the upside before we roll back down and have a continuation to the downside for that lower high. But we'll see how that goes. See how that goes. What I'm really looking at again is the what's the 4 hour time frame. I think for the most part we've pretty much played, like we saw, talked about the bullish divergence. Like this was a good reason to want to look for the long. Also, just the bullish divergence, and we had been putting in accounts of bullish divergence all over the weekend. We were putting in accounts of bullish divergence. It didn't stop going into yesterday. We're finally starting to play out some of that bullish divergence. You can see we do have a regression line here across the low here for our momentum, and we also have where we're seeing our rejections at right now. With the horizontal line there, possible inverse head and shoulders. I got to really look at volume to confirm that. It's rather small though, so I don't know how much that's going to give. A little slight bear divvy, of course, and we're getting the reaction from that as well um, against this top over here. We'll see if we push through. So you couldn't have gone wrong if you held through this 786, or if you took the drop into the 382, the VWAP. You couldn't have really gone wrong unless you had more than you would usually trade with, which is what I had on the trade setup yesterday. This is just the other example of where I drew it out yesterday on stream. This is what I'm looking for us to manage to do, is to get into that golden pocket, at least back into these lows in here. If it's a wick into this golden pocket, unless for some reason we see a bigger push to the upside, or we just don't get to the upside and we just start to roll down. But there is a trend regression line here, which tells me that momentum can be broken to the upside and we can see that move up. You can see we're pausing out right here around it. So I'm just making sure I highlight that situation. So we're pausing out right around it. But my squeeze might actually show up today. I know I tried it yesterday and I did not yield the results. So today might be a better day, because I was saying to you that I could see the squeeze, and there it is. I could see the squeeze in here, but it wasn't showing me that we had a bullish squeeze, and we do have a bullish squeeze in here. So I'm looking for, like, the squeeze does not entitle us to how much of a move we're going to get. It doesn't do that, but it does highlight that we have one, and in order to clear the squeeze, we have to break to the upside. That's the only way to clear this, is to get a break to the upside. Just like over here, the only way to clear a bearish squeeze is to see a break to the downside. So we're going to see some higher prices come in here. When it happens and how much it gives, I don't know that. I do not know that. I'm not privy to that information. It could be a small move, and it can be like, okay, squeeze over. Okay, it can be just like that. But do expect the move to the upside. Is all I'm trying to say to you, is do expect a move to the upside, whether you took that setup right there on that VWAP with the 382 fit retracement. We do only have a 382 50% retracement. Let me just say that too, and I'm going to repeat it. We do only have a 382 50% retracement. Bouncing from a 382 fit retracement is shallow and bullish. Okay, especially if we can hold it and we see the bounce away from here. That's strong. That's strong. Okay, that's not a deep retracement. That means people are still willing to pay premium prices to be in this setup, still willing to pay more money to take a trade from here. That's bullish, as opposed to waiting to enter into discount, which is below 50, 618, 786. That's discount. We're still in premium. Okay, so bear that in mind. We're still at premium prices. We're getting a bounce from premium. Okay, so people are willing to pay more money to go long. All right. But yeah, bears are still in control. bears bears are still in control here. They are still in control here, but at some point we will see a break to the upside. Just a matter of where that actually comes from. If we're going to maintain here and we're going to see that push up and possibly again like get into this golden pocket, um, wherever price decides to take us before rolling us back down. Um, let me see what we have on the Bollinger. I don't think that we had any squeezes in here. Nope, we still don't have a squeeze here on the 4 hour time frame. It doesn't stop you from getting a move to the upside, but it does make the move a lot more volatile. So you're not sitting here playing with chop, 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 chop. So that would be nice, but we don't have that here. Do not have that here. In fact, let me just kind of push through on some of these other time frames. Nope, we're still in the pocket here. We're still in the pocket right here between the 1 and 2 standard deviation right now, which I want to see us break out of here eventually. Please break us out from here. Let me see. Same. Same, 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 same. Now this is daunting, and this is very daunting and quite bearish to stay in the pocket and not break up above that standard 1 to at least come back into the 20 SMA. But overall, just the move down is still holding up rather decently. I'm just pushing through. Just want to see. I just want to see everything before I get to my daily. Yep. Very daunting. Okay. Enough of that. Let's get rid of this. I think that the last low we got did drop lower than here, but I know I was telling to you yesterday that the energy just wasn't the same, you know. But at least this one right here, which I didn't care to see, I didn't care to see it. But it's not fresh. We don't have fresh divs in here. We have to look back, but we don't have any fresh divs in here, bull divs. So there's that. There's nothing that can be done about that. So hopefully that's what's to come here on Bitcoin to move to the upside soon and very soon. Let me just check one more thing. You won't see this. I just wanted to check. Okay, so we're still extended on the daily time frame, obviously, because we haven't moved anywhere. So we're still extended on the daily time frame. I'll be looking for us to get that boost in. Yeah, because we're still extended there too. So I am short-term bullish right now on Bitcoin. Take a look at the SPY. No, we're talking about the potential for an expansion here. If the SPY does break down below this level right here, let's see how much that has changed. It probably hasn't changed any at all. It hasn't. It's the same. Okay. So still be looking for an expansion here if SPY does see the breakdown below 731.84. So we'll just say 731. As we know, we have been putting in some bear divs on the 4-hour time frame, and it's just the 4-hour time frame, and you can see right here where we are positioned here, seeing a breakdown below that, and with the RSI around the mean, that implies that expansion to the downside. So a sell-off could happen there. So I'm trying to bear that in mind also when it comes to Bitcoin. Okay, so that's very possible today. As far as the other time frames are concerned, like your I know the weekly still looks absolutely amazing, 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 amazing. No issues there on the weekly, and I don't think that there was anything on the slightly on the daily. Like you could tell that that would be the start of something different for SPY. Could be the start of some things to come, more downside to come for the SPY. But like I said, this is a very high probability that we see some sort of expansion now. It can fade, but we will see an expansion, and more than likely, it will. But it will be noted how much SPY did take a drop, a hit today. It will be noted. Still rolling over here on Nvidia. Nvidia is still rolling down. VIX is still minding its own business. I'm gonna take a look at USDT dominance and see where we're at with that. I know yesterday we were at some resistance. We broke back below it. Okay, so here initially on that move yesterday when Trump, I was trying to figure out like what happened yesterday because Bitcoin ended up getting the Bollinger break to the upside at the same time that the stock market and gold was also seeing a slight push in their markets as well. And it had something to do, of course, with the situation um, with Iran, and um, and that's why you saw the pump across different asset classes yesterday, and the drop in oil, which oil ended up popping back up yesterday, and everything returned back to normal. But we are still at some resistance here for USDT dominance, and again, I don't know if we do see the break above here, and then this runs off, to who knows where. Especially if we have a lot of people that are interested in Bitcoin dropping below that low of 60,000. And yeah, we would have to see USDT dominance probably go into price discovery if it gets past this last little box that's up there anyway. But for now, we are still at some resistance here for USDT dominance. Just a matter of if we see that break above there, which I would have to say that would be quite bullish of USDT dominance, as the larger pattern, again, the larger pattern remains to be a bearish formation. But if that happens, then bulls just happen to take over. They happen to be taking their money away from Bitcoin or whatever and putting it into Tether. Like, that will be what that will be. There's nothing we can do about it. So that's that. All right. I gave some I shared with you guys about a couple of things that I had some interest in here. I'm just going to touch upon this because man, it's really pushing. Oh man, never mind. We don't push. Remember, I told you guys that I was buying now. I told you this in April, and I shared it on the channel several times after that I thought that this was a good buy. I shared with you that I was watching a video from a guy named Jeremy. Now, Jeremy doesn't do technical analysis on his shows, but he talks about specific stocks that have fallen. And that's the only reason why I actually came over to take a look at the chart and do the analysis on it. And once I looked at the chart and I did the analysis on now, I said, I'm buying. And I explained to you that I watched his channel. He doesn't do analysis. I did the analysis on it. I said it was the only one. I said the other SaaS look like they've bottomed too, but the only one I'm going to buy is now. And so now started pumping. I actually bought it here. I didn't buy this. It was right after earnings, and I bought it right here. And we chopped around a little while, and I came and I shared with you a couple of times how it was up, but it really started rallying because apparently the Trump family or Trump, we just say the Trump family did a filing, and it revealed some of the some of the assets that they were holding. And anyway, now it's one of those. But now had a good chart way before that news. Let me just say that it had, because otherwise I would not be putting my money in it. I would not have been putting my money in it, and this was back in April. But now had a good looking chart before that, which is why I chose it. Because they have a history of reporting good earnings, and they had a bad earnings that particular day. And you know, this drop was the opportunity for me to get in, and that's how I expressed it too. Like this is the opportunity for me to get in. And so I talked about it here on the channel. I did not say a lot about it in my post because I have I have the this channel where I share a lot more, and sometimes when I go on X, I really don't have um I don't need to say a lot. Now, this is back in April, right here. April 24th, exactly where I pointed to you where I got in at. Started accumulating some now today. That was all I had to say about that. That was all I had to say about that. And we've been moving. But I mentioned to you, and I'm going to move to the weekly time frame. It's not as big on the weekly because there were some points in here that I discussed on the channel too where I wanted to see now get back above. So the rally really doesn't look as like it's that much. It's basically just getting started for whatever is to come in here. I mentioned to you, and you see the bullish div. You see the bullish div. It was an easy buy. It was an easy buy. I mentioned to you several of the other SaaS stocks as well. Potentially had seen a bottom. Was seeing a bottom in here. I don't have anything on Salesforce. Why? That's weird. Oh, there we go. There we go. I was about to say that's weird. That's weird. Now, Salesforce, I will say, I don't think at the time we had actually tapped on this floor because I was looking for this VWAP to get hit and potentially come into this box right here. But this would have been one I wouldn't have bought either, besides me just talking about it. So you're seeing some nice moves out of some of the SaaS in here. So that's really, really nice to see. And then the other thing, I bought Snow. I didn't share this one, but I bought Snow. I bought it a couple of weeks ago, or was it maybe 2 weeks ago? I picked up Snow. I just happened to like what I was seeing. Like, it's a good company. So I picked this up. So I'm in profits on this one too. Yeah. Nice move. Nice move. Who else is it? I did pick up this one right here. Celsius. Now, Celsius isn't all the way there yet, but I started my accumulation right here on it. I like it. I like it. I think it's going to be another one that's going to see a nice move to the upside. So I went ahead and I picked this one up as well. It could move down a little bit more. It would end up invalidating some things in here. But it's getting very interesting. You can wait on this one. In my opinion, you can wait on this one to come down a little bit more. It might even actually drop down here into this box right here. And then that'd be a good place to actually pick it up from. But I went ahead and bought some on this candle right here. It was just worth it for me to add a little bit to it. And this trade setup is still going. Although I did not buy this one. It was just something that I posted and handed out to anybody who might have found some interest in that. Just want to cover something else that I picked up. I did go ahead. Now this is this. I think I like it a little bit lower, but I went ahead and bought some. I went ahead and bought some SoFi. Now I did put a tweet on this and I said, if SoFi gets down to around ten to $9, I'm a buyer. Then I looked back at SoFi and it was like, maybe just buy some SoFi now. Maybe just buy some now. Now I think like I put a box in here yesterday. I came back to look at SoFi um, because I think let me put it on 24 so we can see what price action is currently sitting at. I think starting from here into this box right here is a good place to pick up SoFi. I bought a little bit right here. I'm not going to buy anymore there. I like this from 14, 18 into this box right here, to this ascending trend line right here, this top ascending trend line. I like it to there. And something that I noticed with it, yes, so you see, this is why I like it from here, because this is actually where you see the bounces come in for SoFi right here. So right across here, this seems like a much better level, but you can't always be correct about where something bounces from. And heck, it might not want to bounce, period. It could be a loss. But this is the zone right here that I like for SoFi. So if it comes down into here, this is where I will be buying some more at. The other thing that I liked about this level right here, also inside this box and above this ascending trend line right here, above this ascending trend line right here, is that regardless of where I drop this VWAP at, watch it land right here. So I'm going to do a VWAP. I'm going to do this one. Where is it at? It's right here. It's right here. All right. Because I usually drop my VWAPs on my trend lines, right? So let's even go. Let's go to the low. Let's go to the low. Let's drop VWAP on the low. Where's VWAP? Right here. Let's drop VWAP off of this one. Let's see where we at. We're right here. Just more inside this box right here. So it's not the end all be all, but if SoFi hits in here, I'm definitely going to go a little bit harder on SoFi. I like it. I like it. So these are the places that I'll be looking forward to get to right in here. And if it goes lower than that, I'm going to have to take this as a loss. That's it. I had to take it as a loss. I'm going to have to come on here and do the walk of shame and say, I was wrong. Yeah. But like I said, I bought some right here off that 1540. I bought some there. But this is where I really pick up a lot more if it gets into here. So I think SoFi is a good one. All right. And we need to diversify. You need to diversify. If you're not diversified, you need to be diversified. Okay. Great investments. What was another good investment? I'm only going to talk to you about things that have seen a pullback, who have had some good earnings. I'm not going to talk to you about crap. Okay, I won't even cover crap with you. I know that I looked at all of this other stuff through here, and there was nothing else in here that I actually liked besides snow. It was the only one that I actually liked and bought from the new stuff that I had added in here. Um, let's get back into socks. I covered it briefly yesterday, but I remember the day that I did this post on socks. Socks was over here on this side in here, and I was saying, and I went on X and I was like, yeah, you're about to get some discounts on your chips. Your AMD, Intel, all of that. You're gonna see some discounts on it. I posted that on X. I said I was gonna give it a little bit of a flex. just in case. Just in case, I'm gonna give it a little bit of room for flex for a little push up, but that correction is here for semiconductors. It's here, and we've seen that. We've seen that take place. This is another good. Yeah, this is another good indication of that happening too. Micron, but socks. So on the higher time frames, things still look pretty decent, but that doesn't mean that you can't see more of a rollover. So these have really been given. Um, what was that? It was actually May 8th. And I told you I was giving it a little bit of flex because on socks I had another level to the top side where I could see like where price could potentially deviate. I might even drawing it out on the channel with you guys, and I explained to you how I do that. But I was just saying like to keep an eye on that on May 8th because um, it looked toppy. It looked toppy, and sure enough, it was. Sure enough, it was. So I try to do what I can. I try to do what I can. And then, NVIDIA, I mean, not NVIDIA, but AMD. And I had found this level right here. I think it was before we got into it, but it was a deviation level that I spotted here for AMD as we are seeing the pullback. Now, AMD, I had this drawn out differently. I think at that point, I may have had it like this. But you can see how it pushed through right here. And then you can see how we ended up getting the bear divs. The easiest thing for me to do when I see a situation like that is to look for this, which is a little late. It's a little late, but it works. It's a little late, but it works. And that's basically coming back down into, I can't tell you when I'm there, right here. Dropping the 100 right there. Like if it starts to put in some divs against price action, then I'm looking for it to drop 100. Drop 100 so you're not getting chopped up. But nice. Or a back test of the level in here, which more than likely I can't keep my eyes on the chart to see it in real time, but more than likely it pushed back into that trend line and then it saw the rejection there. So AMD. I may have also seen it somewhere else. Yeah, right here. This is where I saw it at. Right here. Now this is the clean swing failure on AMD. Clean, 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 clean swing failure on AMD. Right there. Or zoom out. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to switch to another time frame to see it too. Intel, not a different story, but Intel I really use more of the fit retracement on. What was Intel's at? For some reason I don't have Intel's marked out, but that's okay. I don't have it marked out. But I do still think currently that these could be some ones. I don't know if they're going to put in a new high from here. I don't know that. I know that the weekly time frame still looks absolutely amazing on these. So, but the weekly could be still rolling over. Now, there are other time frames that I have looked at for them that I actually like. And I know I was looking at the 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hours what I was looking at in here. Now, is it going to diverge? It's possible. It's possible that it could diverge. Sometimes that'll happen. Like an indicator isn't going to be 100% all the time. Sometimes it's going to fail, and that just is what it is. But I like when I see this right here. I like when I see this right here. I want to see that, and I think that the 4 hour time frame, if it's going to get any sort of a bounce from here, Um, it could still just put in a lower high, and then you start to see some more rollover on it. I think AMD was, no, it's not quite in there yet. See, it's not there. It has to push back above here. It has to move back above this lower line. So Intel has done that. Um, but at that point, when you see that, you have to look at it and make sure you're not seeing bear divs. So that's how you'll know whether or not it's going to fail or if it's going to work out on you. Like right here, like you can see like the div, you can see the bear div right through there. Those two little peaks right there, you can see the bear div. So it may not be the first go round, it could be the second one, but we have the trend line in here. So just on per price action, okay, we do have the ascending trend line through here. We have this level. It's not a weekly level at all. It was a deviation level that I highlighted back before we got into here because I was trying to see like where we could go. We did see an initial reaction off of it, so I know it's worth something. It's worth something. So we could see it, hold in here if it comes back down to this trend line right here, or even back here to these highs in here um, for um, for AMD. Then I would expect to see some sort of a recovery bounce on it because this is flagging out a little bit in my opinion. Um, Intel's trend line is a lot lower. It's down here. You put a VWAP on that and we can just kind of see like what we're hitting. Nothing. It's down here. Now I can put one on this point too. Uh, okay, I'll be about to lose my mind sometimes. Put one. We'll put it right here. Ay. Won't he do it? Ooh, won't he do it? Yes. So wherever my touch point is for my starter, it has to be from my starter, my touch point, which is this candle right here. That's how I do it. I have to, yeah, but it has to come from a pivot for me when I do the anchor VWAP. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yep. I like that. Let me look back at it. This looked like it went over. It looked like it cut through here. I'm gonna do it just to see. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Oh, didn't I tell you? I'm so used to it now. I can almost see it. And this right here is probably down below somewhere. I don't know. I might be wrong this time. No, I'm right. It's down below. But anyway, I don't really have another point in here that I could tap on. I don't, because I go straight from that touch to this touch, and I don't have one in between. And why is that all the way up there? Let me put it like that. See if that changes anything. Nope, it doesn't. Okay. So I don't have anything, just this to depend on right here on the move down for AMD. I already showed you NVIDIA over here. NVIDIA, this is a 1 hour chart right here though, but you can see from this 1 hour chart already that your MACD is well below the zero line. So it's moving in a very bearish formation. You can see that right here. Let me flip this one down, but you can see that it's well below the zero line. It's all the way down here, but at least the delta has crossed above it at this point. So it is, it is there. Potential support coming in right here. You can see that first one right here, how we got the bounce off of that swing failure right there. And this could be the low for this, and then we start to see it round out. I don't see momentum actually switching. I can see it's off and on through here, but nothing solid just yet. They're actually kind of spread. So, I mean, if you wanted to be more conservative, you can just wait for a cross of your 12 and 26 EMA. If you want to be more conservative, just wait for that cross. And the thing I did share with you on NVIDIA, that particular day was the fact that we were back down here to this trend line right here. So let me just turn that off. We're back down here to this trend line right here. So it's going to look different just depending on which time frame you're on. But I was sharing this with you that this was a prior resistance level right here that goes there and all the way back down there to that low. I don't feel like pulling it all the way through. And this was the one where it broke through it. So I just dropped from that same low up through here. And then you can see how we got the resistance there. And now we're holding this level right here as support. So very shallow pullback in this regard here, probably like a 236, 382 at this point. I would doubt that it would be more than that. Okay, so 382 right there, 50 right in here. Which is what we got off of this drop right here. We did a shallow pull back into a 382 fib right there. Let's see if that'll hold. If it does a shallow pullback, then that'd be great. I know it did one right here as well. It just did the shallow 382 retracement. So a little bit more in there right now. Like I said, that's a bullish move right there. 382. Let's see if people are willing to pay more for it right here. If it does break 50, then we'll just be watching this trend line right here. I'm not buying any more NVIDIA. I haven't. I've actually sold some NVIDIA and taken some profit on it. And just sitting on the rest of it. But nothing new for me to do there. Trying to think if there was anything worth your business right now. And but you know, like if you're interested in these, I don't like buying when they're at the top. I don't. Some people want to play with it. This is just talking about playing with it. I would not buy it here. Would not buy it here. Every chance I get, I brag about how, hey, when AMD was looking crappy, your girl said, buy. Your girl said, buy. I said bye. It was March 2025. March 2025. I said it repeatedly. This is one of the tweets right here. This is one of them. I was watching this trend line right here with that VWAP. You see that? And I gave you guys some DCA zones. Said buy, buy, buy. Buy it. It's been several stocks now. Your girl is giving some hits on. Your girl has given some hits on even Intel. You know who said buy Intel when it was at the low before the government got involved? Your girl said buy Intel. Said buy INTC. Your girl. Buy it. Buy it. Look at this. February 2025 will be the year for a big comeback. I have a feeling that 2025 will be a year for a big comeback. I believe it. I believed it. Said the same thing about Apple. I'm not going to go through all the stuff that I was talking about, though. Same thing about now. But I'm not going to go through them. Saying it about Celsius. Saying it about Nike. The most trashiest looking chart ever. And it's high risk. It is so freaking high risk. This thing can just continue to fall and plunder to the ground. It can plunder to the ground. This thing can plunder to the ground. But it's not about the pattern. It's not about the pattern at all. It's not about that. But when it does that Nike swoosh, when it does do that swoosh, just know I was here saying It's high risk. You can lose your money. It's not financial advice. Uh, I'm taking risk and I'm buying it. I'm gonna buy it. So, yeah, as we look to diversify, as we look to diversify, okay, as we look to diversify. Um, but anyway, enough of that because Bitcoin is doing nothing. It is doing nothing. Let me look back at this. You see how I can be wrong? But no, like I said, it won't move in a straight line. Now, once it takes this out, you can be like, girl, you were so wrong. You were so wrong. You were so wrong. And it bees like that. This is a move I said I was looking for here on Strat. We did make this move into about this golden pocket right here. But yeah, once it breaks down below this right here, I'm totally wrong. I'm totally wrong once we break down below there. Hey, but you could have bought it from right here, okay? So you still made some money. But no, that, yeah. See if this is going to get invalidated and be wrong right here. If Bitcoin don't get that bounce, it dang sure is. It dang sure is. From this point, it will be wrong. Some other stuff cooking right now that might see a little bit more downside is Netflix, which I bought some Netflix. Was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was. I bought some Netflix. I'm buying Hood, but I think ultimately, I know I'm looking for something lower on Hood. Hood is just something I'm accumulating, and Uber is another one that I'm accumulating. So you have to take these for what it is because they have areas down here that they could reach. If I solid it out like that, then there's a chance um, for those to come down. So I haven't really talked a lot about these. Haven't shared any updates on X on these. I think I did one on Uber a long time ago, months ago, but I haven't really harped on these because I know that if I do, you could experience a lot more downside. So my conviction isn't all the way there just yet. Once it's there, I will let you know. My conviction is there. All right. Oil. The levels remain good. The levels remain good. They remain respected wherever they are. I don't trade oil, but yeah, we did see that drop yesterday, and then that immediate pushback to the upside as whatever was happening, whatever was being said yesterday, um, did reflect in oil and other asset classes. Other asset classes. Okay. Um, I need some good stuff. I need some good stuff. I really do. And tell you what I'm starting to keep my eyes on. Home Depot. It hasn't had a good catalyst here lately. I guess there hasn't been enough. I mean, you got the home situation and all that good stuff right there. Not a lot of at least I haven't heard a lot about, natural disasters and stuff like that because Home Depot thrives off of that kind of stuff. I don't want anybody to go through any sort of natural disaster or anything like that or have any, kind of stuff like that happen with your home. But Home Depot is one that I've been trailing here. Um, I'm not inclined to pick that up right now. In fact, the price is way too dang on much for me to wanna. Yeah, like my money is small. I take I've been building up this little account that I have, and it's been a work in progress. And I've made some good. I picked up some good stuff, and then I sold those, and and some of those markets went on without me, um like AMD. AMD went on without me. I sold AMD after I think it was like two earnings back. I sold AMD stock. Um, Intel, I already sold Intel. Um, Palantir, I already sold Palantir. The only thing that I've been holding on to that I've had for a long time is Nvidia. That's the only one I've actually held on to. But the other ones I've sold those already. And those markets continue to push higher. So, but Home Depot is one that I've started looking at that might, and just check out some things. I had to see a big fall on something before I want to invest in it. Like I wouldn't buy that. Um, it's a lot of stuff I just wouldn't buy until it actually lost it. Like, gotta be down, down. Tesla out here, Elon out here causing ruckus. I don't know, but uh, yeah, you're gonna win. You're gonna win. But yeah, if you get a chance, check out Home Depot. I've been watching this. I actually have something that I'd like to see for consideration, but it's pricey for me. It's pricey. So I have this. This is based on the line body right here for Home Depot, and it has come down significantly. Um, what was this one at? Yeah, that's all the way down there. And then it's already falling below this one right here. I haven't picked any up yet. I'm actually liking this level down through here. And this is as far as I'm pushing it to when we have this one, and then perhaps down here around this level right here. Now, could it, if it falls down, and $100 and something dollars, yeah, sure, I would pick it up. But right now, it hasn't fallen enough. I don't think I had anything in here that, yeah, I mean, kind of, sorta. This floor right in here. Um, I'm not feeling it. And then I looked at it here on the monthly. Now, I won't lie, on the monthly, I do like when I see this. You probably will be on some place you need to be right here for Home Depot. So I like that. It's been a long time since it got that rough on Home Depot. To see this. It got rough back in here. You can see how, like I said, you have to watch for the bear divs if it does come up, because you see that bear div right there for that continuation to keep rolling down. You got to watch for that. Um, but it's been a long time since it's looked like this on a monthly time frame. So I'm really watching this one. It ain't down low enough for me. It's just not enough. Nah, that's not enough for me. It's gonna have to do more than that. So this would be fancy. Anywhere from in here to lower, I look at the chart and I'll see how it's performing at that point to make a decision on whether or not I wanted to pick some up. But in here, it's worth watching if you just want to take some sort of I don't know, some sort of a trade on it in here, just for a trade. Keep your eyes on Home Depot. I'm gonna put this back on SPY. I'm gonna go back over here to Bitcoin. So you can see how good this still looks over here. A 1-to-1 was hit right there on SPY. That's 1-to-1 was hit. Bear div nonetheless, and you can see how I marked this out right in here. This was the last time I saw the swing fail right here. That was the last time. We're pushing up towards it right now, but we do have a bear div in here on SPY. So just point that out. You have a trend regression line right through here for SPY as well, and you can see how we've bounced from here. This is 1, this is 2. That's your connection point right there, and this was the last low that we made, which was this one right here. It was this low right here for up, and then of course we got this low right here where we got the bounce and we went up. So that's something that you can mark out if you follow SPY like that. It's something that you can mark out from your monthly time frame. It's as good as it is until it actually loses it. But like I said, this was the last swing fail right here on SPY. We're bear diving on the monthly time frame already on SPY. Okay, already bear diving here. So just bear that in mind. As you don't get overly bullish. That's why I don't look at anything that's still up there at the top. I'm not buying any of that stuff. None of it. Nope. Not buying any of it. But we'll see if it can outdo that. I don't know. Let's see if it can. But right now, 4-hour could lead to an expansion to the downside. Okay, so keep your eyes on that, especially as Bitcoin is concerned. Okay, I know on Bitcoin yesterday when I was looking at I looked at options on it, and all of that makes sense for this level right here. So the 76,000, it makes sense for the 76,000, because if you take a look over here, give me just a sec. All right, so just gonna take a look here at CoinGlass. All right, and so I'm gonna go to options, open interest by strike, and I'm just gonna turn that off because it gets annoying. Turn that off. Hold on. Yeah, just wanted to turn that off. You can see right here. No. Oh, heck no. This isn't what we were looking like yesterday. This is what we're looking like today, though. So never mind. Never mind. I was looking at something totally different in here yesterday, and it doesn't look the same today. So I can't do that with you. I can't do it with you. That strike was a lot higher yesterday. All right, but it's not today. It's not. It's all the way down here right now. So 80,000 is the highest strike. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see if it. I don't see what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Where are you at? I'm not seeing it. Okay, give me a minute. I'm gonna bring it right back to you. Let me just kind of figure out. no, 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 no. Huh. It sucks because I can't find. Oh, I can't find it. I'm so sorry. I wanted to show you something, and I realized it wasn't the options by strike. Um, it wasn't that, unfortunately, and I can't get you to it. Let me put this on the 15-minute time frame right here as we continue to bounce around and kind of reject around this golden pocket 786 level in here. Um, I know I know with the IBITS option and all that good stuff right there that I think we flipped to gamma negative, which is why I'm also saying looking for a lower high. Because if we stayed like that, then dealers would be net short. Volatility increases, of course, and then they will sell the rallies. So I would be looking for lower highs at this point. We did recover a little bit yesterday from that, so a little bit of a recovery. Not that. Let me take a look at CME, see how we're still doing it here. All right. And the little petty wetty up here, I'm gonna leave that right there. Like I said, possible inverse head and shoulder. We'll see. Today's Tuesday. How well we can move. But like I said, with the ETF, like we're still like we're straddling the line right now. But if we don't push out of that and flip back to positive, then we will have some problems. But I really think that that's more so like I expected, some downside to be coming in here. I think that's more geared towards next month more than anything. So I don't expect for June to be pleasant at all. I also know at one point yesterday, as open interest was increasing for the day. I guess it just depends on what you're looking at, but for the particular day, open interest increasing. So you had a lot of new orders being open, especially shorts because price is dropping, open interest going up, and volume was not committing, which was indicating some sort of weakness in the move to the downside, which is probably why so much bullish divergence was showing up in the chart, which, I don't do CVD, so I don't know what that had on that end. I heard a couple of people talk about it, and they were saying, it had some bear divs on it, which is fine because that's, why we continue to see price roll over. But there is some underlying strength and some weakness in the selling pressure. That is that's truth. That's truth. There is some weakness in the selling pressure with all the new orders opening up and going short. So. Sort of chilling right now. Let me see. All right, so the Coin King did put a question in there. Have you ever said I'm done with crypto and then bought more the next day? I don't know where he gets his questions from. I've never said I'm completely done with crypto. And there may have been some particular ones that I was like, I'm done with that thing. And then I bought it. And then I lost more money. there, there are those ones where I did that. And then I lost more money. Lost more money. Good example, Tia. Tia. Man, I lost so much money on that crap. I try to give it a long term outlook, and every time I try to give it a long term outlook, I lose money. And if I just look at it for what it is, I wouldn't lose any. But because I try to look at it from a long term point of view, yeah, yeah, trash, trash. Try to find something with a little less noise. This is a better chart right here. 12 hour for XRPZ. Indicator wise, anyway, indicator wise, it's a better, seems to have better results. 12 over that 4. Why do I have orange lines in here? I don't know why I have these orange lines in here. I may have been looking at expansions. That's the only reason I could think of me having them in here. It seems that's been a good level right through here. I know mine's right like 134. May not actually come that low. Yeah, my level is like 134, so I would look for something around 134. But this is pretty decent in here. Pretty decent. Got a little bit of, a little bit of a extra move down, but these lows have actually been working. That's 12-hour. Been working pretty good. So 12-hour, it's a lot cleaner than that 4-hour. So I can't really tell you other than I can tell you it's 134 is my level. I don't know why I have these in here. Um, but somewhere about that 134. And if you had to look lower, then I would consider this. I would consider this low right through here. Even if it's here and it's a liquidity grab, cool. Uh, then you can just see what your reaction is like if your momentum starts to rise on it or not. If it starts to rise on it, then you'll catch a better outcome if you take it from this 12-hour time frame. Just want to say that because I don't know. It could be any one of these through here that gets the bounce. I just want to see how the last couple of oh, got a lot of stuff to delete out of here. I don't know how old this is. That's quite old. I think we talked about that the other day. And I don't know why all of that's in here. It's in here. Have to go back and delete it. Looks a lot like XRP. Looks like momentum is trying to come up here on this time frame though. Looks like it's trying to come up. Let me take a look at it with a Fed pull on it. Morning, Y Crypto YT. Kareem, hi. I think I may see a bounce on BTC. I'm waiting on it. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want it. Michael, happy to see you. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm excited for it. I took that long. I took the long yesterday. Remember the one that we were talking about? Why Crypto YT? I missed you. I missed you. I'm so happy to see you. But right here, we're talking about that VWAP and that 382. Yeah. So I'm in here. I'm in here. We've been rejecting right around here, around this golden pocket for the most part. A little wick up here into this 786 happened yesterday. Into this 8 ball up here. But yeah, I think today could be a better day. It's not, it's not like on Monday. On Monday is more like a prep day in the market. So really in the stock market you have 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday. And since, Bitcoin is everywhere now, it's not just for the crypto bros anymore. Crypto bros and gals. It's not for that anymore. It's everywhere now. So ETFs, futures, CME. Yeah. Rolls a lot tighter because the big money is definitely in the ETF options, all that good stuff. I hear that they're trying to roll out the 24-hour tokenized stock. 24 hours. They're prepping for it. Wall Street is prepping for it or whatever. That'll be nice. I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping that this carries something. I didn't actually look at volume on it to see what that volume looks like. But that looks about right there. That's right there. All the volume comes off of the left shoulder, and from there it should decline until we break out, and then we should see another spike on the breakout. So volume does confirm that this could be a real deal on that inverse head and shoulder. That's so true. That's how it should look right there. I'm glad to hear that. You're long. I'm glad to hear that. Please let this long pay us out. I said how I got stopped out of my loan from yesterday. I wanted to hold on to it, but like I said, I had only a certain amount that I was willing to risk on it. And see, I really held it from the golden pocket. So um I gave myself some room for it to be a disaster, and it was a disaster. So but I re-entered after that, and yeah, it's been pretty decent so far. Been pretty good, pretty good. I'm hoping that we can push into uh, the golden pocket. I'm hoping that that's something right there. And if we can't get that high, then at least into these lows right here, which might be a 50. Yeah. So about a 50% retracement. Or that right there. I love this right here more than anything, but first of all, we got to get there. We start to break this trend line right here. And we fell back below. I'm not going to move it right now, though. Which that tends to happen. Because we're like flattening out here on the 4-hour time frame. But I went through some other time frames in here with the Bollinger. It's not, I mean, we're still in between standard deviation 1 and 2. Not really seeing a move outside of that. So if I'm on 6, then you can see how we're um, steady trading in the pocket. Or what I also call the trap. Because you'll stay like this right here till you see an actual closure above standard 1. And then from there, be looking for a move back into 20 SMA, possibly higher. It has the room for that to happen, but you know, we're not getting outside of here right now. But we're early, so just in case it does some sort of shenanigan. But it looks like that across all of these time frames right here, where we're still in the trap, just still trading in between standard 1 and 2, not actually seeing a move outside of that. 12-hour isn't even curving over just yet to, stick a fork in the descending momentum. It's not even curving over yet. Like, it's starting to do something right here, but it still it still looks like it's expanding a bit. It still looks like it's expanding. Really want to see it do something like this right here where it curves instead. It's not doing that. It usually won't do that until you hit standard one with the closure. It usually won't do it. Like, it has to at least do that. So that would be the best thing I could compare it to is like seeing from the low, it would be like moving into a 40 RSI from the low. So this would be like tapping into a 40 RSI. Which is an attempt to move out of bearish territory. And from the top, it would be like tapping into a 60, which is an attempt to move out of bullish territory. So it's the best way I can explain the standard one. Inside of a trap and not actually getting a breakout above that. So over here, you can see we're down here by the 36. Down here. So it'll be something similar to that. I think actually I'm gonna throw some noise in here just so I can see where that is. Yeah, see, this is a 40 right here from the low, pretty close to here. Hasn't finished rolling down, but that's what that would be like at its best for me to explain it. I'm gonna move this. I know it's not the time frame, but I'm just gonna move it just to cover some of that chop. Actually, let me do it like push it all the way out. That way I can be more clear, more certain on it. Let me see how crappy it looks from here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. Gives me a little bit more room to play with. And I was saying I couldn't see that squeeze yesterday. I was trying to find it and I couldn't see it. And then today I look back at it and it's clearly there. It's clearly there. So only way to clear that is to go higher. It has to go higher to clear it. Doesn't mean it can't go lower, but in order to clear it, it has to go higher. In order to clear a bearish one, it has to go lower. It won't clear it unless it goes lower, which was a situation that we had on the daily. In order to clear this, we had to drop lower. So knew that at some point, this would break down. In order to clear it, got to go higher. So we're going to go higher at some point. And then the thing over here again, and I shared it yesterday, was, hold on, I have it right. This trend line right here. This is what we were looking for, the break on to clear it. Then we got that, so. But yeah, we're holding on to yeah, we got a trend regression line in here. rejecting right before we see our breakout so far. But I still like the 4-hour time frame. I still like it. Um, we did change what we had in here with the slightly. I put on, actually, let me take this off. Um, volume. As I was explaining how over the weekend, we were putting in bullish divs all through here. We did eliminate that. You can see it right here. If I use volume, it'll make it a lot easier to see it. So you can see how we were dropping. Was putting in bull divs on volume. Was putting in bull divs down through here as well. Down through here was putting in bull divs up until this candle right here happened yesterday that dropped us into that VWAP. Then you can see it actually comes below this low, or in terms of volume rises above the other volume bars in here. So we don't have any more local bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame anymore. And as far as the 1-hour time frame is concerned, we've played, well, we're playing it out, or we've played it out, because we put in a bear div right here and we did the swing fail right there, the swing fail, trend regression line, momentum line through here. But the bullish divergence that we were putting in through here after we got that last little drop. But yeah, we still got to break up inverse head and shoulder. It looks very confirmed with volume. So I like it. I just hope whatever happens in here doesn't, maybe they sweep this. I would hate that. Maybe they sweep it. And then we have that that alternate VWAP, which is a little bit closer towards this trend line, I think. I don't think it's as low as that trend line. But I don't know what just happened there. Definitely. And change this one to red. Put this one down here with the ascending trend line in here, and then some liquidity to our left. We do have some liquidity if it's not just this one again. I've seen some channels where they did their fixed volume range. To be honest with you, I only pull my fixed volume range if I have an identified mother bar. I only pull it then, and I do it based on that consolidation. So I don't pull it just for something moving relatively close to an area. I only pull it for mother bars, which means in the nicest way possible, I don't know how to do it outside of that, and I don't like it outside of that, but it works. It works. So apparently there's supposed to be a value area high in here somewhere. I know that price broke below that value area high. I know it broke below value area high. It may have been, value area high may have been sitting right here where the 786 is at. In that case, I could just use 786. I know it wasn't where VWAP and 382 is at. So on a fib level, I just thought that it was cleaner to just go with VWAP and fib retracement because it lined up with it. But value area high is somewhere in here, somewhere between this 0.816. So 0.816, not 786, but 0.816, I believe. And it's not down here. Yeah, I think it is where that 0.816 is. Because even the other one that I showed yesterday, it was, I think it was down a little bit lower. it had more relevancy to this second VWAP and this ascending trend line down here. Just in case something like that happens. I'm not looking for it to happen, but when we're not looking, it tends to, those things tend to happen. I question the liquidity that hype has. I really do. I question. I'm gonna move this. I just I didn't really see an easy way of connecting it. Yeah, I think I can leave it like that. I question the liquidity. I remember that one failing. Well, this thing got bare dibs. There it is. They won't play out though. Um, it has to drop below. Drop back below. Let's see on this time frame right here. See if I can't pull it. Yeah, have to drop back below here as it stands right now. That's 44.83. It's far off from that right now. It would have to lose that. Wherever it ends up being at some point, it would have to drop below that. Otherwise, you could just get caught with a higher low and continue this rising structure that it has in here. I don't know if it's the fact that a lot of people are trying to short hype or what it is. Let me block this on, was on a 115. Block this on this 15-minute time frame. see if that's consistent. It's not even consistent with the bear divs. It's just a time frame thing. Doesn't seem to really have any actual weakness. Hmm. I'm trying to see how high I can go. I don't really see any real weakness. Hmm. Yeah, even that was bullish. The falling wedge. Let's see how it goes right through here. If it gets past whatever this is over here. Otherwise, this thing looks really nice. Oh, good Lord. It looked fine from that. It's a little bit too far out there. Yeah, otherwise it looks fine. Do have a advanced block right here. These 3 candles right here. This advanced blocks. They tend to break down. How we weaken right here, and you can see that we had like a little rising formation in here, and this would be considered to be some sort of resistance right in here, possible resistance right in here with this advanced block happening. It tends to have a breakdown. I haven't really seen it on. I see it all the time in Bitcoin chart. I don't know how often it is actually shown up on a chart like this one. Doesn't seem to be common. It's about close to coming to an advanced block right there. Uh, don't seem very common on this chart, at least not on this time frame. Let me just double check something. No. That's no. That's high tide. My bad. That's a high tide. That's a high tide. Forgive me. That is a high tide right there. So you have long wicks, little bodies, little dojis like this. That's a high tide. I haven't done candlestick pattern formations in a long time, but yeah, that's what that is, high tide. And that could break down. Let me look back at this. I know I was saying it looked pretty good and strong as it is holding the 382. 382 50% retracement. It's taking some time, but still remains to look bullish. Still looks bullish. Because that's bullish. You're bouncing from here. Again, you're bouncing from something like this. People are willing to pay more money to be in this asset. So I still think there's it hasn't seemed successful. I still think there's a possibility that it takes out this high and see if it does do that and push into that 672.45. It still looks like it's struggling a bit, even though it is bouncing from this area, which takes us back to Bitcoin, which is exactly what I'm saying. Like right now, Bitcoin 382 bounce. And then, we got the 50 to look at for it, but breaks below that, then, yikes. As long as it holds up right in here like this, that is bullish. And this chart belongs to which time frame? 1 hour. Belongs to the 1 hour. We got work to put in to get our little move to the upside. You saw this morning, I was looking at how we're holding right here. We're also holding on the, we've broken swing fail on momentum again. Swing fail on momentum did take place right here with the weekly close. Swing fail. Finally got that. The only way this would be invalid is because a couple of weeks ago, I moved it to here because naturally I had it sitting like this. So if I were to leave it as this situation, we don't have a swing fail. But I'm trying to get as close to it as I could with whatever I could find through here. If I set it down here, we don't have a swing fail. No swing fail has happened just yet. No swing fail has happened yet. But that was the only little tip I had right there. It would be like me doing it on this, like we got to drop down into here. I'm gonna do it on that because I mean, this is what I would have used. I would have looked to my left. I would have used what's to my left. You can see you got a little small swing fail there. Then you got the swing failure all the way right there. But if I didn't have this to my left, then I would have done it like this because we did drop back below it. I would have done it like that, and then I would have classified this as the swing failure. So that's what I'm trying to do here, but it really don't. I mean, it's really nothing here. There's nothing for me to really latch onto right here. So, in fairness, we honestly don't have a swing fail. We honestly don't have a swing fail of momentum. Same thing. I would have did it over here. Swing fail would have came in right here. I didn't have to move anything here. So bounce, bounce. Yeah. So don't really have one. I'm just trying to do the best I can. But things that I can't see in here, I can see down here. And the only other update I gave was here on the monthly time frame. We don't actually have, like, this month would have to close above the RSI mean. So it would have to close above 50, which is what tends to happen. Like we did do this right here. And I explained why I chose this as our historical floor. As opposed, I mean, I do have this down here, so this is still going to be here. So in the event we do see a drop in price action, I'll have this to look back at, this down here to look at, right here, if we do that. I have been using this because it's just been easier. It's just been one little consistent line to go with. You break below it, you reclaim back above it, and then you're off to the races. But the other thing is seeing a closure on the RSI above 50, because anytime the RSI has closed above 50, you didn't put in a new low. We did not put in a new low, but this month has to close up here above it. And if this month doesn't close above it, then yeah, the numbers that everybody's talking about to the downside, that makes them more likely to happen. But momentum could fade right here, and then that's the low. It would have worked in this case. In this case, and I could have just dragged that other one over here, right? Could have just dragged that other one. It would have worked in that case. Then if I was doing it here, see that? It never closed. It never swing back up above that. Maybe, yeah, no. It never, it rejects. It actually rejects right there. So now that's my lowest point in momentum. I could go off of this now. And then you can see how its support there broke down, because I like to see it break down. Got to see the swing failure. It's only swing failure if it drops below it and then it comes back up. And so it would have been like that. That's our low. That's our run it right there. So it ain't this. It will be this. I just found it easier to just say a reclaim on this right here, which this is from as flat as it gets right in here. And the only reason why I didn't do this is because this is exactly what I'm talking about with the 50. Once it crosses above 50, closes above 50, I'm saying crosses, but once it closes above 50, you don't put in a new low. No new low, no new low. You got to see it right here, but no new low has ever happened with a closure above 50. Rejection. Rejection. The other thing I talked about in here was the space. which is initially might be a rejection. Just like you can see, we reject it right here, and then you see that final drop to the downside right there, and then that brings these closer together, brings them closer together. Uh, this is okay. Yes, this is a U.S. dollar. It's a U.S. dollar chart. It's usually straddling somewhere around that red one right there, though. This it really broke through it. It didn't just straddle it. And you can see right here, we did straddle it right there. Not necessarily. We wicked it. Let me stop lying. We wicked it. But it usually straddles somewhere between that. This is such a huge distance. And I don't think that there was anything else in here. I think this was the only time, or was it? Let me just see. Yeah, 2021, 2022, or 2022, whatever you want to call it, was the, I mean, no, it's not the only time we actually broke below there. It just doesn't seem, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't look like we do. Um, it doesn't look like we do. It just doesn't look like we do. Like this is, you know, I mean, we know Delta's not, I mean, Delta's all the way down here to the dang on floor. But we were putting in lower highs. We didn't put in any divergence on the MACD itself. We did, of course, on Delta. So I can't just look at this and be like, we got bear divs on Delta, and not say we got bull divs on Delta. Because we got bull divs on Delta. And then all the tops came in somewhere after it stayed in this green shaded area for a minute. All the tops came in through there as well. Let me see if there was anything else that I noticed in here, which I actually didn't look at it. Let me see what this is. That's the only time we actually broke below a negative 100. I do know that for sure. That's the only time we broke below a negative 100. This was maybe that particular year was just extra for whatever reason. Well, we had a whole lot of stuff that happened that particular year. A lot of stuff from Terra Luna, FDX. What is it? If it FT is it FTX or whatever it is? I was saying FTX. uh, whatever it was. I mean, we had a lot of stuff. We had Tesla did some selling in here. I think Tesla was the actual start to selling first, and then all the other stuff that happened that transpired through here with Sam Bankman-Fried, all that other stuff, Voyager, all of that, all of those exchanges, all that stuff. So it's never gotten this bad until then. And you can see it never got that bad. It never got that bad when we had our drops. It never got that bad. That was a little extra. So we tapped it. We tapped it. Still in bearish territory here. Rising. That was the first time the delta had actually flipped negative as well, because the delta had remained positive, but we're still negative in here, which means correction at best at the moment. That is what it is. You know, without being all fluffy, it just means correction. It doesn't mean reversal right now. None of the signals for the reversal have actually played out because we don't have any. We're close, but close is not confirmed. We don't have any confirmed signals or anything like that, or even in price action, we don't have anything really confirmed. So remains true right here as well. As long as it's below zero, as long as that's negative, all that good stuff, then it's just a correction. It was rising over here, which is why I'm not going to go off of it. It's good for confirmation. It's really good for confirmation. It would lag otherwise, but you'll see all the multiple green dots through here if I were to turn them on. But we did rise through here up until we actually got the break above it and then the continuation. And that was something that I talked about one stream back, was like there's only ever been 6 times that the MACD crossed above the zero line. And if you took a trade off of all 6 of those crosses to the upside, you would have won all but 4. I mean, I'm sorry, all but 2. You would have won 4 out of 2 because there's only been 6 times in history that the MACD dropped below zero and crossed back up zero. And if you bought it then, if you bought that actual cross through here, then you would have been in some major profits. Like you wouldn't have caught the bottom. You would not have caught the bottom, but you would have caught the rally. Like once it crosses above zero, that's your go. That's your go. Only happened 6 times before. I know I did I used Coinbase chart when I actually looked at it. Binance, BTCC. I know I used the Coinbase chart, and I may have deleted my findings. Yeah, I think I did delete it. Yeah, I deleted it, but so you can see right here how without me moving it, there is no swing fail. So you can see what I was looking for. In here, as I have taken the time to go back and study things from the weekly time frame. Anyway, I did go back to study stuff. Like I said, there's only been, I think this chart will give it to me. I think it will. Let me make sure. This was a failed one right here. So this is one of the failed ones right here. This is where it actually crosses above zero. Let me make sure I do that right. I like to see it cross zero, then cross the delta. It has to do both of them, and that's how you can tell when it's weak, because delta will turn down immediately. MACD doesn't have to. If MACD keeps rising and delta is turning down, then you'll still have the strength to move higher. But if delta turns down and MACD follows suit, I mean, you can identify that there's some weakness in it. So you can see how they both rolled over here at the same time. Here's another one right here. This is where it gets above zero, but then I want to see it do that too. So you can see how delta just kind of turned down a little bit right there. But it's only happened a handful of times. I might have this actually on that USDT pair chart. I can tell it's above it because of the blue. But if you did that, then you would catch the rally. It did it right here too. And these are the Actually, let me slide this out. Yep, must be more concrete with that. Did it right here. But it stayed above. It stayed above delta. So I don't know if I really classify this. It's just a little bit too high up, but it doesn't matter. It did drop below it though before coming back up. And this means corrective. Anytime it's above here and you see a little dip, it's corrective. But those are the few times that it happened. And if you bought it, then you would have caught some nice moves to the upside. You won't catch the bottom, but you'll catch the moves that you need to catch. By looking for that, you catch the moves you need to catch. See that? You catch the move. Like, that's it. That's it. It's still below that right now, so it's just not there. It's just not there. Can be, but where did all those little lines go? I didn't think they were all gonna plot right there, but I'll keep them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. I said it was 6, right? I said that there was 6 times. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, am I counting right? That's 6, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6. Why am I missing a line? Am I missing a line? Or can I not? Okay, here's that other line. That's why. That's why. I'm going to delete it and I draw it back in right here. So that's our 6 times. And then I said it failed how many times? I said it failed twice, right? It actually doesn't fail any, but this was not that big. That wasn't that big of a move. Yeah, I'd say that failed. That was a fail in my, yeah, that was a failure. That was clearly a failure. So one time. So 6 times that ever happened. One time it failed, and that's right here. Otherwise, you caught runners. And like I said, we're not above that right now. I must have didn't want to classify one of these. The reason why I came up with, I didn't want to classify something. It could have been that it was 2 of them I just didn't like. But once it crosses above, once MACD gets above 0, yeah, like you ain't got to catch the bottom. You made money. Like, imagine that. You probably went down a little bit. It's not better than doing a swing failure, but it is confirmation. It is confirmation. So let's just say I don't know where you wanted to do it at. You probably would have had to wait on that candle to close. And if you did, then you probably just wanted to be careful. It's 424%. Let's say you played the close. That's 46%. It ain't bad. It's not bad. $552%. $142%. I don't know if this is all the way right because I can't really see all the way over there to my right. But let's just assume 952%. Oh, it was way more than that. No, well, yeah, it looks like it was way more than that. Let me see if I can't catch it. I mean, not that you're gonna close it out at the very top, probably 6,621%. Get the F out of there. Yeah. What? Yeah, 6 times historically. 6 times. It's worth it. Put this back on Bitcoin. 6 times. Oh, he said BTC came down to touch the red line before a higher run. Yeah, 2019. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it came down into it every time. It came down. It actually broke below it. It actually had closures below it. I don't know if the closure is a necessary thing. It might be because it did close below it every time. It closed below it here. It closed below it here as well. You can't tell it unless you drag this back. But I'm just gonna assume that right in here it closed below it too. 2011. Close below it there, close below it there, close below it here. We only got a wick right here. We only got a wick over here. Uh, and these are still spread really far apart. I don't know how much that matters. I'm going to say it matters. To me, I think it matters. To me, I think it does. Because every other time you see them, get closer together, they get tighter. And that's the one place they're not tight is where we are right now. But every other time they were tighter together. They weren't spread out like it is right here. Um, this, like I said, this could be like the rejection point, like we had before. I think it did come up and I didn't do it over here, but it doesn't have to do it every time. But they did get closer together than what they are right now. Like they're far apart right now. It's pretty spread, not close, not closer together. And they closed down below here. We don't have a closure in here. Let's tap. Just a tap. I'm not going to treat any of that like it matters. I know the 786.886 or 786.66.86, what we've been referring to as 8 ball. That has been our spot right there. I think there was only one time that we did like I think there was one time we did the golden pocket. And see, this one right here is based on a fib extension, so it's not the same. This is an extension right here. It's not the same as drawing from the low to the high. So there was that one. And then I'm gonna have to drag this up progressively. Let me just make sure it's on there. right here. But you can see in that case, that was one where we actually dropped below it a bit right there. So I think that that probably we would have had to do like a 886, which it doesn't tap. Like this is as close as you're gonna come to it. It's just gonna be using the 786 and the 0.086. That's the closest you're gonna come to it. It's gonna be that. Like I said, I think that there was an occasion where we only did like a golden pocket, but I'm gonna come back and draw this part in. I'm gonna put it up here already. I thought I was gonna be able to find it if I did it like that. I thought I was on to something. Like, no, you're not. You're not on to. Is that it right there? Come on, man. You trying to tell me that I have to click on that to see it? I think that's the absolute low right there. That's what, 199. Okay, 199. 199 it is. 199. Let's see. And it doesn't actually tap this one down here, but it's in there, you know, so your 0.816 somewhere down here. Likely. Like, I mean, just in the center somewhere. I could have sworn that there was a time though where we actually, like, that was perfect. But I could have sworn that there was a time where we actually hit the golden pocket instead. I guess there isn't. Let's just do this. I think this goes from 0. Yeah, 0. Now that's crazy. Now this probably is. No, it's even below that on that. So, yeah. But if I didn't have that to look at, then yeah, I would just look at the retracement level. So I think with let's see, 26, 52, 52 EMA. What do I have in here? I have a 510. I have a 26 EMA. So apparently I'm using, hold on, no, I'm using a 60 EMA. Yeah, I'm using a 60 EMA. That's where we bottomed at on that 60. 60 EMA, 60 EMA, and 60 EMA tap. I guess if you went with a 60 EMA, I was going to change that to a 56, but that's yeah, I guess just a 60 EMA. It just depends on which ribbons you're using. So yeah, I was gonna go with a 56, but that solves nothing. That just makes it worse. That actually makes it so that you actually close below it. Except it didn't close below it right there. So I think 60 is better. Just 60 EMA. Yeah, 60 EMA on the monthly time frame. Monthly. They actually look better than this. The 60 EMA. 56 would have been in line with this, I think. Yeah, I think 56, which is why I wanted to use it. Um, would have been it's close. Yeah, 56. That's 60 still. So if I put this on 56, I think that matches the one that I'm using right there. So that matches that one closer, but 60 looks better. Looks better. So I would, yeah, actually looks better. Looks better than that. Huh? Monthly. We're still just dancing. So if we, oh, I'm sorry, I just had to come back over here. I know, where is our fib at? No. What is that? I don't believe in that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that because that's way far from here. That's way too far from here. So I just don't think. I mean, it could be so wrong, but that's just way far from there. Doesn't get that bad. Like, that's a huge difference. I'm just gonna take it from where it is right now and assume. I'll just go with the more right in here. It's a 39% drop, just about below that line. Even if I put on the EMA and I went with a 60, you wouldn't come anywhere close because some of them didn't even drop below that. It didn't even drop below it. Like from here to this low, that's a 36% drop, but that looks like a whole lot more. That looks like more than 36%. I'm just gonna go from where it first crosses it and I'll take it down. That's 15. If you're using a 60 EMA, you're not gonna get any of that. So I just think that that's a lot. Waiting on all of that to happen, I just don't know. It's 32% below it. It just don't look the same. I know I didn't put it on the red line. I can't figure it out. So I'm just gonna do that. That's 41. Mm. It don't look. I don't know. It just doesn't look. I don't know. It looks like it's doing a whole lot more than that to me than just 39%. Mm. So if we were thinking it was going to do something more like that, that's about an extra 15%. below that line. 15%. 39%, 38%, 39%. Seems crazy. It just seems crazy. About as crazy as a 4%. 4% move below it. It's about as crazy as a 4% move below it. So yeah, maybe 44.59. So it's never really moved too far away from 45 either. It's never really moved too far away from 45. This was the only time it moved further away from it. And it hit 40. It hit 40 there. So it's never moved far away from 45. We know that. RSI's never gotten far away from 45. And then that, like I said, that did 40. We can find stuff all day long that, will fit the narrative. Um, and this could, I mean, it's possible that this could have just happened because of all the stuff that took place during that particular year. But momentum is something totally different. Like it's something totally different to gauge, in my opinion. I think they're gonna wait until market opens on us to really do anything. We're still just kind of hovering around on SPY as well, close to the expansion. I didn't look at one for Nasdaq. Nasdaq could. I mean, it's already seeing some sort of a little bit of a bounce in here. Yeah. Gold's still hanging on in here. Still hanging on around this 45.32. Still hanging on in here. Where it held a support there and there. Didn't go too far right there. One little time right there. Over here. But you can see it did actually break it there. A little bounce from right there. Resistance right there. I think it actually came from here. Actually came from here. That line came from back over here. So it's a respectable trend line, a respectable support level, potentially respectable. And I think I think all of them, with the exception of these two that I labeled out as 4 hour because of my trade that I was in for it, which I got stopped out of. It was a terrible trade. I jumped in last minute on this. It's trying to hold it. I don't know. I copied this thing that Lazy Bear did, and then I saw somebody else do it too. Pretty popular guy, but they were using it for like Elliott. I decided to use it so I can see like the divergence on the play with the moving averages. Uh, just to see if they're actually rising as opposed to just seeing it like this, just flat, descending down, just so I can see if it's actually rising instead. And it is slightly rising through here as opposed to where it looks like it's just tilting over. It's a slight rise out of it. But like I said, I use it to see the divergence. Like you can see it right here. It got lower right here and over here, but here is actually higher and rising up right before that bounce takes place. So I don't know. I haven't really played with it too much. I did it, and then I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Over here, you see it rising. Down here, you see it not rising. But it is supposed to be this one right here. I think that particular one down there, it doesn't go with this one, but it's close. It's the same because I know that this matches it. Let me turn those two off. So you can see we're stopping out right there too. But it goes with that yellow and that green one. So how you see the yellow and green MA still rising, showing that it's actually not rising and that it's declining. Its price is pushing up. I could look at that with any other indicator. I just wanted to try it out to um, see what the what the science was behind it. I like the way they did it. But like I said, they use it for Elliott, and I decided to do one and use it for that purpose right there and see what the difference is. So it suggests that it's rising. It doesn't mean that it plays out, but it's holding here. Ouch. How a sneeze made me say ouch. It's called getting old. I haven't touched anything over here, which is why it looks this way. I think I was looking for. I was looking to see how we act with resistance across here or something. That was a long time ago. This is actually higher, so I'm gonna put it right there. This might be gone. Let me see if it didn't actually tap it, or it did, and didn't. It's not a swing failure. support level. Mm, I don't see any bullish divergence. Let's see. Just momentum, but no actual bullish divs in here. Nothing current. No, nothing. So for me personally, I would be interested if it, I mean, maybe if it came back down into here to this trend line. If I had to move it now, it's probably just going to match up with this VWAP if I had to move this trend line right here. So I think it will just come in with VWAP. Uh, Not exactly. I'll put that back. Maybe there'd be some success if it came back down to it and bounced like it did over here. It has potential to chop around in here a little bit more. Just looking at that, it has potential to chop around a little bit more. So maybe that could happen for silver. Looks like a 50% retracement, maybe. I'm about to find out. No, it's a little bit more than that. So, yeah, it's more than that. What I was thinking about it, that can't be possible now. I was just looking at how extended it actually got in here off of the RSI, but it's well below 50 now. If it hadn't have been, then I would have assumed that this was about to reverse from there and then come back up here, possibly even break the top side of the channel, where we're seeing the rejection from our channel, which is a pretty wide channel. I never liked the center point of a channel. And you can see it has no respect for that center point either. None. None. So maybe back down into here. I don't know why this trend line is, I don't know why I left it here. Doesn't really relate to anything. So I'm gonna move it. No, it doesn't help with anything. Maybe at some point it had some merit. So get rid of that. Suppose maybe if it did something like this, 786, something like that. If this could rise a little bit more, and that'd be cool. Let me see it from another time frame. It's not given. It's not given. Put on 12 hour. Huh. I guess that would be the bank for these highs in here to hold with this 382 right there. And if that doesn't work out, then that's going to be below this VWAP. I don't think I would care about that anymore. I think I'm going to drop that in. Focus more on that. That's where it did it the last time. If it's not that, then I'm going to add that. I like how it tapped in right here twice. So I'm just going to add it. Some extra cushion. So maybe it just bounces from in here again. If not, takes out that low. Maybe taps into here and then bounces away. I think that was what we had, our 382. Yeah, right in here. I don't really like this golden pocket, so I would say just below this golden pocket though. Makes more sense. That's pretty cheap. I won't be trading this. It's way too high. It's way too high. If I was looking at something and I was looking at it from a higher time frame perspective, yeah, I would have looked at that top right in here. I would have looked at this in here, and then this over in here for prior resistance flips. Um, but this is way too high. If you'd rather wait on something better, then yeah, something like this is going to be better. This is all right. That's all right. Or since it did just come up to the top side of our channel, I don't know why that's breaking out right there. But since it did come back up to the top side of our channel, that ain't happening though. Uh, but yeah, I would have looked at something there or down here somewhere. You want to look at that wick. Man, no. Forget about that. You don't want that. Or get something down here that makes more sense than some shallow pullback after that wick. Maybe right here. Definitely a lot better. A little further down. Right here. Yeah, a little further down right there. Seems to make more sense. This is where, oh no. I suppose if you could get a fourth time, another tap on this trend line right here, since it's already broken down below this one, if it'll bounce one more time from here, and it had one bounce right there, this trend line is as old as, not that old, April. Okay, it's a year old. It is at least a year old. Okay, so maybe did a perfect bounce that right from there. So maybe it'll hold one more time. So we'll be looking for a sweep. If it's going to continue consolidating, it's swept over here and bounce, swept that one, bounce, swept that one, bounce. So maybe it sweeps this one and does the same thing. by dropping into here. And then that'll probably be it if that wasn't already it. But it did sweep and go a few times in here. So that's something to look for on platinum. I'm gonna drop those. Since I haven't actually mapped out, only thing I've mapped out besides trend lines is gold. I haven't taken the time to map any levels on those other charts, unfortunately. And these are the only ones I did for gold. So all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I know what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for a pump to the upside today. I really think that we would expect to see some sort of a move to the upside. Like I said, we do have that squeeze on the 4-hour time frame. I can't say when it plays out. We also have the momentum levels, the descending right there. For us to break that, let me just go to the 4, since this is what I'm focusing on right now. It's the 4-hour because this is the time frame that I actually like. Like I can see where we hit resistance in here on multiple different things. But I expect for this to actually break out today. Don't know how it goes. Let me just say that again. I'm looking for a move into the golden pocket, but one thing that I can say, I can't give another level before the golden pocket. Let me see if the 50% even matches up to that. Then I can say it's the 50. No, 50% doesn't match up to it. It's actually a little bit lower than the 50. So I think it is right here again. Let me just see. Yeah, it's exactly right here. It's exactly this low right here. It's that low exactly. So maybe it does just wick into the 50% retracement, something like that. Um, but something I was looking at from my other chart. So to the upside, we would be looking at between here and the golden pocket. That's all I can see between here and the golden pocket. If it does more, then great. The loan actually pays out a lot more. But right now, that's about all the upside I can see for the 4-hour time frame is back into these lows, back into these highs over here where we found resistance at quite a few times. Back over in here. Um, and then possibly this golden pocket right here. But I expect to move up. If the move up doesn't come, what are we looking at to the downside? Um, daily, same level, this right here. That's 75,780 to 74,909. I'm looking at that. And then we bounce. But so far we're holding. So far it's holding. But that's what I would be looking for if we had to see downside. It's going to be right here. And remember this right here, this is where we were having a hard time getting up above on the weekly time frame, was right here. Um, that was this. That was this flip, I think. No, this flip is actually lower. This flip is actually lower. So it must be, is it this wick? Hold on. I don't want to tell a lie. Put this on the weekly. Oh, crap. It's down here in this box. It's actually this box. I'm looking for this, but that was an argument that I had a while back, a long time back, but I thought it was still similar. No, it's not. It's not. I'm looking for this though, for that bounce to come in. I just don't see it pushing below this and not getting an actual decent bounce back up, but it's not what I feel emotionally. Um, that matters. Huh. This would be too far from what I'm looking at. This level right here. So I'm gonna stick with that. Stick with this. I think, yeah, I don't want this box. And like I told you, I don't pull my fixed range unless it's inside we're coiling. I only do it if we're coiling. And this one would put it in here if it was done like that. And that's for the, now I know a lot of other people probably same thing. That's the same thing. Mine is based on that mother bar from the weekly time frame. It's based on the mother bar from the weekly time frame. And how I initially had it back here, this is before we broke out of the mother bar. So once we crossed above the mother bar is where I stopped it at. So for me, I'm not looking at this level right here at all. I think that that's way too far for price to come before I see that. What I'm looking at on the 4-hour time frame just won't make sense if we did that. Now, could they want to come down here and sweep this liquidity Tuesday morning? Absolutely, they could. And if that happened, then this is as deep as I'm getting right here. So if you pull your fib all the way out, even if you take it from there to just what's ranging through here, I don't know. I'm not the fixed range girl. I'm not. I look at support and resistance levels, which they happen to line up with that value area high regardless. Right here. So if that happens, if we take this, then I would be looking there. I think that secondary VWAP came in here as well. Which is the same average price, VWAP, average price, volume weighted average price is VWAP. And then fixed range. What do they call this? Fixed range volume profile. So same thing, volume. Anyway, that's it right there. If I was looking at, I think both of these actually, let me see where this was at the last time I had looked at it, because I was using that at one point. I'm gonna do one more, just one more. It's gonna be this one. Just want to see how close we are to it. It's right here for me. At worst, something like this, but that shouldn't happen. Should be seeing a move up today. I'm looking for price action to come back into this joint right here. So that's basically what I was talking about with you. It's just right back into here, right back into here. Um, which was, like I said, that up into that golden pocket. So here into that golden pocket. I think that was correct. Yeah. Yep. That low up into that golden pocket is all I'm looking for today. If it does more, then great. The only reason it probably would do more is because, like I said, we're overextended on the daily time frame. I told you if we didn't close anywhere up higher, somewhere around here, then the daily would remain overextended. And looking for that to curve back in to just give us that little final push up here. If we're gonna put in a lower high, if we're gonna stay gamma negative, I suppose. I mean, we would move out of gamma negative if we push up into that anyway. But it's been a long time since we moved into gamma negative. And just put it like that. Long time. I think that might also be where that gap is. I used to use somebody's Baton for the CME gap. Yeah. And there it is. Right there. In this zone right here. For the CME gap also. Yeah, because if we dropped any lower, we're just gonna keep rolling. We're gonna keep rolling. I mean, we'll get a little something. Won't be back up here, and we would just keep rolling. I think, but we are extended. We are extended. So bounce. Let our loans pay us, please and thank you. And that will put us, if we did this right here too, maybe not right now, maybe after we come up and hit that and then come back down, please let it work out like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm hoping that it works out like that, but hope it's not a strategy. Hope it's not a strategy. But remember this right here. Remember, I kept saying, okay, we're squeezing, squeezing. We're squeezing a little bit more in here. We're putting in bull divs from this point in here. And this is exactly where we were holding our squeeze from, too. So I think that's exactly what we were holding our squeeze from, starting right here. Let me see. I can't remember now. Yeah. So once this right here started to, see that? When that started to drop, that's when we started squeezing. And that's how I identify them. Because this will start rolling through like this. And then you can tell it's squeezing because this starts dropping, dropping, dropping. And this bullish divergence, it starts to print this bullish divergence that swings price higher and higher. So it usually this white line in the process of that will turn up and push out. Now, if that was to happen here, I would just tell you, forget about the golden pocket and just start looking up higher. if that were to happen. Because usually when this rolls down, this white line turns up and pushes out at some point after doing the bullish deals. It breaks to the upside. It's what I call a jack and the beanstalk for this indicator. It's a really nice move. The one to the downside is called a Thor because it's a cloud. It's a dynamic cloud. And so when it does that and it pushes it out, like here, rolls up, and then this at some point is going to drop out of it. And when it does that, you just start rolling. You just start rolling to the downside. So if that were to happen over here, if this thing was to actually pop up, then yeah, we'd be going a lot higher, I would have to say. It's the inverse on USDT dominance for here, but it did not give that follow through where it does that break to the upside. It did not give it. So I haven't used it too much. The last time I used it was 1 hour. It was over the weekend. It was over the weekend. No, 15 minutes. I'm talking about 1 hour. It was right here. That drop happened right here. And no, it wasn't a weekend. It was that day when I didn't want to take a trade. And I saw that drop happen. I was like, oh, okay, it's going to, once I could see it was giving a follow through with a white line pops up from it, sprouts, starts growing. I jumped in, and that was that move. And I thought that we had did it one other time. Yeah, we did it right here over the weekend. I was like, I know I did it over the weekend, and it was right here. I took that one right there over the weekend. It didn't go too far. That one did. It's the weekend anyway. And then on the 4 hour, we got it for the downside, but it's settled out, which is why I'm looking at right here to about the golden pocket. Golden pocket is slightly below this top side right here, but I did see it do it over the weekend where it started to rise up, and it was like, oh, okay, no need in looking for a long position, but I did start to look for one when we came into the fibs. There's no sense not to, because I like indicators, but they don't determine where I enter and exit. They don't. For the most part, it's not about that. I use them for confirmation. Like, should I start that now or should I wait? And then it goes flat. When we hit this bottoms down here, it went flat. So it's flat now. So that could be a rejection point. Just back to the top side of this cloud, just tapping that. That's why I'm saying that right there. And you got the lows right here. That can work. Or sometimes it will come to the top side of the cloud and then reject from there, which is closer to where we have the golden pocket sitting at. And the 1 hour is starting to roll down, which means some underlying strength is coming in. It's not confirmed. It's staying in the center in here. So it hasn't confirmed anything. So I'm mindful about that. I just see it rolling down right now. And then the other stuff we looked at, possible inverted head and shoulder, the 382 tap, and the VWAP bounce. But like I said, we could still do something like this right here. But it is starting to trickle on down here. So that's it. That's what I'm looking for. Bounce. A bounce, even if that wasn't it, a bounce right in here. It seems like we can take out that previous day high a lot easier from where we're at, though. Flipping above that previous day high. It's a lot easier from where we're at. and then we'll see how SPY does. It's still holding up for now. Let's see how much of a catalyst it has on the price of Bitcoin. I love and appreciate you. Have a nice day, Why Crypto YT. I so appreciate you so much. Michael, I appreciate you as well. Kareem, I appreciate you. I appreciate anybody else who stopped by here to hang out with your girl down to Crypto TA. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Because I know it's not going to give it to us while we're on stream. And we got the one yesterday. We got that one setup entry for that probability. So hopefully that works. All right. Peace.